Hello, I'm Beatrix Forbes and I'm a composer, a pianist and a songwriter. I've come from the Netherlands and I'm currently a resident of Oxford in England. My music journey began back in Holland. I had many years of piano tuition. I didn't really enjoy it at all, because I had to follow the notation and what the teachers told me what to do. But I felt already creative then, and I played back what I heard on the radio, and it all went very easily that way. Much easier than reading from notes. There was a time that I didn't do any music, but I had to be creative in one or the other way. So I did some film work, nature subjects and documentaries. Also did some still photography, which gave me many awards, and many of my pictures were featured in magazines in Oxford. I also did watercolor painting, which gave me a good following as well. I sold many of them. And now I'm back to music, and this is the way for me to go. I still could play one piece out of my head, and it was the Beatles' Yesterday. And wherever I went to friends who had a piano, I had to play my Yesterday. And that is as far as I got. And of course the friend said, you should go back to the piano because you got it in you. So when I retired and had time to myself, I bought myself a digital piano. And hearing all the sounds coming from it really inspired me and set me off composing. That's how it went. And I had several years of melody after melody after melody, which I've recorded, thank goodness. But then there was the question, what next? So I followed the course of composing with Jonathan Danborough, a composer himself, which I found very interesting and very enlightening. After 5 years, I thought, this is enough. Now I'm ready to fly. But still, I didn't know how to handle it until this thunderstorm in the night filled up my car with rainwater, and I quickly visited the nearest garage, and waiting for them to solve my little problem, I saw this notice on the notice board which said, come to the Lilac Lounge and we'll help you with your music. I rang the phone number and I talked to Jin, and Jin invited me to come to the studio. There he listened to about an hour of my music, and he indicated which way I should be going. And I've been following his instructions ever since. And we've created this lovely first album about Oxford and beyond together. Having noticed in the newspapers, the Oxford Mail, the Oxford Times, that there were complaints about a lack of songs and music about Oxford. So I thought, that's an idea. Let's do that. Let's make a CD with Oxford as a subject. And also the Cotswolds, which has not been put into music much at all. So it took about 2 years to compile Oxford and Beyond. Oxford and Beyond takes you to Oxford, a trip on a bicycle into Oxford High Street with all the noises of the traffic going on, and several different sites in the city. There are 4 songs being sung by the soprano Diana Nash and the mezzo Rebecca Martin, and the rest is instrumental, visiting different places in Oxford and also in the Cotswolds. For instance, Blenheim Palace, the history behind it, and then the lovely Cotswolds. And again, this thunderstorm is coming back at the end of the CD. We'll hear a thunderstorm, and that's the end. It's time to go home. I think my favorite piece and the most emotive piece on the CD is Oxfordshire Sky, which was featured on Radio Oxford. It was a trip into the Cotswolds and standing on a road overlooking a valley and seeing the clouds race across the sky that made me feel I had to write this piece. It's available from several shops in Oxford, the University of Oxford collection shop in the High Street, and also the Town Hall shop, which has just been opened a few weeks ago. Also online stores and from my website. We are just finalizing a new CD with piano music and a bit of cello here and there. It's called Piano Weekend, and it was great fun assembling this and compiling this. It's about 70 minutes of unwinding, relaxing music. Some of the pieces reflect my trips to other parts of the world. For instance, Salamanca Plains was inspired by a trip to Spain, and one more souvenir was after I'd been to Scotland. But most of the pieces are sort of English music inspired. And then I had my mum who died, and I felt very depressed after that, and I created She's Gone, which has a very sad undertone. And when Piano Weekend has been finalized, it will be available from major online stores as well as from my website. We are currently working on a new CD which is called In Tune with the Tudors, which has been inspired by the television series of the Tudors. And we've tried to put as many authentic instrument sounds in it as possible, like the harpsichord and the shorn and the lute. And again, it's very filmic. The feel of it is very cinematic. But in this case, one doesn't need to see the film with it. It's all in the mind. In Tune with the Tudors consists of about 15 pieces, taking you on a journey from a castle on the hill via the Queen's Music Chamber. Several musicians playing several different instruments. And we also go to a tournament. It's not a very happy outcome. Also the piece For the Love of the King, which is very romantic. But of course things don't always end happily. And we also have The Death Sentence, where the heads are rolling in the end. The album is nearly finished, and it will soon be available from my website as well as all major online stores. I'm currently involved with a musical theatre, the 13th Theatre Company, and I've been asked to make the songs and the music for the show, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. It will be staged summer of 2013, and it will be called, I don't know yet, it hasn't got a name yet. I couldn't have done this on my own, and I'm still grateful for finding Gin Music in the Lilac Lounge, who really helped me forward an awful lot. And look what we've achieved. One album that's up and running, a second one that's coming, and a third one is still in the pipeline. It never ends. Thank you, viewers, for supporting me all the way and buying my CDs. I hope you keep on supporting me, and my CDs will still be available from my website www.beatrix-forbes.co.uk.